Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with the record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
Oh, I mean, come on. Give me a break. This is not professional football. These guys aren't getting paid to play here. They're representing you all. You should be proud and happy to support them and appreciate what they do and have some gratitude. And you know what else? Nobody wants to win worse than they do. Not me, not you. I don't care what kind of fan you are. Nobody wants to win more than the players that play. Nobody.
That was magnificently said.
And nobody feels worse than they do when they lose.
Yep.
Nobody. So for all you self-absorbed folks out there that can't look past your own self, all right, to appreciate what other people are doing.
Well said, to say the very least, man. And that was something that probably has needed to be said emphatically like that for a while.
All right, welcome in, and the Friday edition. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, and you heard from Coach Saban as they called it a rant. I called it truth, and that he's getting into about with the fans and the expectations of the players, which is always a great thing to have expectations. But you can tell Coach is a little bit heated. I'm not sure, maybe sending a little bit of a message again to the team and also to the fans this weekend coming up for this Iron Bowl 2021. And you look back at the Iron Bowl, and Alabama is the Crimson Tide have only lost 5 games since 2017. The last 5 Iron Bowls have been won by the home team, and 40% of the losses that Alabama's had since 2017 came to the Auburn Tigers. So a lot of interesting stats. So we move through. Alabama leads the all-time series 47-37-1 and enters 10-1 overall record right now for the Crimson Tide, 6-1 mark in the SEC West. Play then also following that 42-35 win over Arkansas. So a lot to get into. We'll talk more about what Coach Saban had to say. We got Matt Coulter, Lars Anderson, and also the gang is in the house. Lars kids, we have all 3 kids with us today. How you gonna do it again?
Autumn, Lincoln, and Farrah, all in the house for the first time. This either could go very well or it could be a disaster.
We'll see.
But yeah,
you don't look flustered at all, Lars.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But I
and also
found
you're a veteran. We had no idea.
Inside joke.
Sports
Inside
Illustrated.
Joke. Veteran of Sports Illustrated. I found that rant very interesting, and to me, what it revealed was how much Coach Saban loves this team and really sticking up for his players. Because, look, we have enough sort of evidence about this team, and this is it's I wouldn't say it's like a down year or a pause year, but this isn't it doesn't really have the characteristics of a potentially national championship winning team, because the issues on the offensive line, issues that we've seen in the defensive backfield. But here we are. They've won 10 games. They're going to be in the SEC championship game. I mentioned this last week. Even if they lose to Auburn, and I don't think they will, if they beat Georgia, they're in. So basically, they're in a position where everything's right there in front of them. And I think Coach Saban has heard the sort of disappointment from the fans and from people like me of that the fact that this isn't the a typical Nick Saban team. But that just shows you, Matt, how high the bar has been set. And I always reference Nebraska, and I swear I could hear Tom Osborne saying the same thing back in 1995 when they're in the middle of their run of winning 3 out of 4.
How many times do you think that soundbite was played over Thanksgiving tables all across Alabama?
I would say probably all across America.
All across the country.
Yeah.
Didn't we listen to it while we were having Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
And here's one of the things, and I bet a lot of people are only sending the last 10 seconds of that soundbite by itself independently. You listen to that, you go, what's wrong with him? You've got to listen to the whole thing. Because I only listened to the last part, and I text my friend back. I said, I think he's kind of being a you-know-what. Then I listened to the entire cut. Makes perfect sense.
And even if you go back further in the cut, he's talking about when teams lose. Texas A&M lost 2 in a row. He said that makes them more dangerous.
Yes.
LSU lost 2 in a row.
Yes.
That makes them more dangerous.
And you've got to go back
because their players they're prideful and they play for their parents, Jay. And I just thought all the points he made were spot on.
Yeah, and I think too, the psychology of sports, he gets it. He gets the players. He understands the game. I mean, and I'm saying that he's the best ever at doing it, but he's really great at that too. Understanding, and we always talk about teams are always dangerous, especially when they're playing. Alabama gets everybody's best game, right? So Auburn's going to give them the best game they've had this year. Auburn will play the hardest they've played all year. That's not just because it's this year. That's every year in the Iron Bowl. You get that from Alabama and Auburn in this particular matchup. So spot on everything he said. You're right. I mean, the first leak of that was self-absorbed fans. The headline of ESPN said, Coach Saban calls out Alabama's self-absorbed fans. I'm like, that was to me a horrible headline because it wasn't defining the entirety of all that he had to say. And
clickbait.
It's
clickbait.
Yeah.
My first was I bought. I swallowed the lure. Then I said, I need to listen to the whole thing. And wow. Now I totally understand what he means. I totally agree with him. And when he goes through and he starts saying the things that we all say, everybody gives them their best shot. Darn tootin' they do. Yeah. Did Arkansas load both barrels for Alabama? And
and also that he said it. He said, is it fair for our guys to have to go through that?
Yeah.
To have, and again, he's not saying that like poor me or we're victims or anything like that. He's just trying to put perspective on it and saying, look, what these guys do, what they've accomplished, how hard they work every day in practice, the effort they put into school is just appreciated. And the funny part at the beginning of it is that you guys just to enjoy when you just got to win around here.
Yeah.
Now is this whole expectation. Well, look, you built those expectations, Coach, and it's been there before you because of Coach Bryant. And, that's part of it. But I do think that it's great to see him remind the fans that, be grateful to these guys for the hard work they put into it. And more importantly, what has happened the last 15 years is not going to happen again. I'm telling you. I mean, I didn't think Bryant was going to happen again, much less this. And I just can't see in the landscape of college football that this 15-year stretch that Coach Saban has had, what these guys have accomplished, will ever be done again.
Do you agree with my assessment that Coach Saban really likes this team? Yeah. And you know what? He has not been critical of this team almost the entire year. He was happy to get out of Gainesville and happy to beat LSU. And I think it just reveals that he sees in practice how hard they are working. And he is getting maximum potential out of the players. And so when I love it when he comes out like that, Matt, and defends the players.
They're young. Yeah. I mean, and I don't think you're not going to see another season like last year either. I mean, the whole Saban era is unprecedented. But last year was perfect, literally perfect. And because of that, Alabama fans expect the same thing. This is not unusual. I saw it under Bryant. It gets me to my question for Jay Barker. When you were winning, how many did you win under Beebs? 28 in a row.
We won 28 in a row. We didn't lose 31 in a row. We tied Tennessee
So,
in between that.
Did you ever see any of this?
Oh, yeah.
Fans getting spoiled, going, Jay Barker can't throw the ball in the ocean from the beach.
It was, I think coming into, I knew it as a fan, so I wasn't a player coming out of state. I saw it for myself, how my family was, not my immediate family, but my family that I had to see at Thanksgiving. I had to see at Christmas, and how they were going to react if I didn't win games. That was my biggest motivation to win.
Okay.
Not having to face them. But so that kind of that thought pattern, or that the self-absorbed type deal. I mean, it's been there for a while. Then it went away because there was such a down time, and then now I don't even think it's so much even the older generation as much anymore as the younger generation. They don't think they should ever lose.
Because they don't know anything else. Though.
Right. Yeah.
In a way, this is all Nick's fault. You know, he
successful.
spoiled Alabama fans rotten.
Okay, let me ask. This is the question I was going to ask both of you, and Matt, you'll be able to address this more. Are Alabama fans self-absorbed? I mean, is it that, or is it more of they just expect it, or is it just human nature that once you get used to something that you don't really appreciate how hard it is to get there, how hard it is to win games, because as a fan, you're not kind of going through that process. You're just getting a chance to be, as Coach said, in a sense, entertained. You're a part of it as a fan, but you're not having to go through that daily grind and what it takes to stay at the top and be consistent the way that they have.
I think the number of Alabama fans that he's addressing is probably smaller than we think, but they're also the loudest. And they're the ones that call up these shows and say Kool-Aid can't cover a bed. You know, actually, I don't think they've ever said that about him. He's
pretty good.
He's a really
pretty good
player.
line. I'm
But something about the O-line, you know, Chris Owens. And I hate it because you told me what a really good person he is.
Great.
But they're just spoiled. They're going to continue to do it.
A target.
I don't know if they were doing it during Frank Thomas's era or not. Of course, there wasn't social media, radio or TV.
That's
either.
right. Yeah.
This is for both of you. So during the dark years between Jay, you winning the national championship, and then how many years was it before the next national title? 17. Okay. So in those 17 sort of dark years, what were the expectations like for the fans? Was it anywhere near what it is now? Or has the typical Alabama fan changed today from in the middle of those dark years?
I would think so. I would say that, and maybe, and Matt, you can correct me from a fan standpoint, or covering it, not so much of a fan, but covering it during that time. So in 1979, I'll never forget Alabama winning back-to-back national championships, 78, 79, and, you know, Alabama fans now. And then what I think at that point in time, Lars, you know, Coach Bryant passed away. So I think a lot of the expectations went down. You had, Coach Perkins come in, and then from there you kind of had the, kind of different coaches and different systems coming through. Coach Stallings was able to come in and implement a lot of what Coach Bryant, he had the same DNA. He had a lot of coaches that coached and played for him. And at that point in time, I think that when we played for the national championship in 92, I think Alabama fans were so excited about being back at the Sugar Bowl, back in that game. It's the loudest I'd ever heard Alabama fans be in the time.
Unbelievable.
Time as a fan and time as a player. When I walked in when we ran in the opening, I mean, I couldn't even feel my feet hitting the ground. That's the electricity I felt inside that building. And I never felt that kind of electricity. And it was almost that Alabama fans were like, we're back where we belong. Yeah. You know, and at that time, it had been 13 years. So, you know, we said in 92, between 30 years of not winning championships.
Boy, and y'all didn't let them down either.
Yeah.
But you're right. In my entire life, and I've been doing this for a long time, I've never felt electricity like there was that evening in New Orleans. And like I just said, you guys did not disappoint. And you know, all these coaches and all these great players have set the table for, you know, self-absorbed fans. But I think that it's a squeaky wheel gets the grease thing too, don't you?
I agree.
Most of my friends are Alabama fans. They're pulling for Alabama, and when something goes wrong, they're upset, but they don't.
Autumn wants to weigh in on the subject.
Okay,
here.
Autumn.
Her mom is a big Alabama fan. Autumn, what do you have to say?
Autumn.
Alabama fans are great.
All right.
That's great.
So that is Autumn's commentary.
Well, look who's in the house.
Antonio Langham walking in.
Langham in the
All
house.
right.
All right. King is
All
in
right,
the building.
all right.
What's happening?
Oh, what a Thanksgiving party we're having here, Jay. Thanks for asking.
Hey, Local Realty, one of our great sponsors. Let me tell you about them and what Jeremy and Gina Miller can do for you when it comes to selling your home. They're going to help you make money in the sale process. They do what's called a flat fee, $2,900 flat fee, up to a $500,000 listing on your home. And they're going to help you with the equity. As far as the equity you've built up, it's your money. It's probably the biggest investment for you and your family, so they know that. And that's why they do a flat fee instead of a percentage. They want you to make the most you can out of the sale of your home. You can do that with Local Realty. Go to localrealtyflatfee.com. It's localrealtyflatfee.com for more information about Local Realty. Also, don't forget, we are presented by Topgolf of Birmingham and driven by Sonny King Ford in Oxford Anderson on the sunny side of the street.
An observation that many probably haven't thought about concerning Nick Saban's rant on Hey Coach is coming up.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide football.
Alabama touchdown.
Only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Progressive Motorcycle presents Road Wisdom from the Motor.
Half man, half motorcycle.
You never really stop riding in your mind.
Never.
Unless you're thinking of something else.
Like other thoughts.
Progressive Motorcycle also presents Roadside Assistance. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Man the Boogman here, inviting you to shop the great selection of Carhartt products at both locations of Irving's. We have many styles of Carhartt logo tees, as well as some new colors in both Carhartt loose fit, heavyweight pocket tees, and the ever popular Force Relaxed Fit midweight tees in both long and short sleeves. Irving's also has a nice selection of Carhartt hoodies for both men and women. While shopping at Irving's, don't forget to check out all the new Carhartt caps and beanies in great new colors that you're sure to love. So remember, Carhartt at Irving's, and tell them Van the Bootman sent you.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. These pills work for men and women to improve their sexual performance. And now for the price of 2 or 3 pills, you can get nearly 100. There's no need to pay expensive prices for Viagra or Cialis. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Change your life for the better and have fun. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
800-288-9657. 800-288-9657. 800-288-9657. Again, that's 800-288-9657.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
How can you achieve perfect gifting greatness? With Omaha Steaks. Perfectly aged, tender, unforgettable, and guaranteed delicious. Go to omahasteaks.com. Enter Sizzle into the search bar to order the perfect gift package for just $99.99. You'll get 24 entrees plus 8 Omaha Steaks burgers free with your order. Incredible flavor, value, and 100% guaranteed. We've all heard reports about shipping delays, so don't wait. That's omahasteaks.com. Keyword Sizzle.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches, weakness, or discomfort in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 selling nerve care company. Nervive contains alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, and B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live your life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sunny today with a cold north breeze. The high for this afternoon around 50. A freeze likely late tonight, clear with the low at 29. And for the weekend, we stay dry. Lots of sunshine tomorrow and Sunday. The high both days right around 60. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 49 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Well, I don't think you can do what he does if you don't have natural instincts. I mean, everybody has kind of heard me use this analogy as a baseball analogy. You can teach a guy how to swing a bat. You can teach him the strike zone, but you can't teach him whether it's a good pitch to hit from the time it leaves the pitcher's hand and gets to home plate. There's something innate about that. All right, it's a quick decision that a guy has to make. This is a good fastball to hit, and I'm going to hit it. Well, I don't think you can do what Bryce does if you don't have natural instincts to do it. But I also think that you develop an ability to do that with consistency because of the experience that you have. And you make quick decisions because you're well prepared. You understand what the defense is really doing, and you immediately know where I should go with the ball. And some quarterbacks look at the rush. So when they look at the rush, they lose sight of the receivers downfield. Some guys have a natural instinct like Bryce does to be able to keep his eyes downfield, avoid the rush without basically looking, just by feeling it, so he can make plays on the move and then sometimes even run when he needs to, which has been very effective for us on third down at times.
You know what I'm amazed about? Last week when he was being chased, he's spinning away, he's doing this, doing that, and he stops on a dime right at the line of scrimmage and hits Leary for a pass. I mean, how does he do that?
I don't know. He did it today in practice.
Did he again?
I said he did it again today in practice. I think when a quarterback starts to scramble, one of the most difficult things to get defensive players to do, all right, is we call it plaster. You got to plaster the guy you're guarding. All right. The quarterback's starting to run. You can't really react to him until he gets across the line of scrimmage.
Right.
All right. But defensive players naturally want to go tackle the guy with the ball. That's kind of what their whole MO is.
That's their mentality.
All right. So here the guy comes. So the defensive players come off their man, all right, to tackle him. And he knows that guy left his man, and he's got a natural ability to.
All right, welcome back in. And again, this Friday edition, happy Thanksgiving to everyone as we get ready for the 86th edition of the Iron Bowl coming up tomorrow between the Alabama Crimson Tide and 10-1 overall record, 6-1 mark in the SEC versus the Auburn Tigers. And Coach Harsin, his first Iron Bowl that he'll be a part of and getting it at home. The last 5 home games have been won, or the home opponent has actually won this game in the Iron Bowl. And Alabama right now leads the series again, 47-37-1. A guy that had a chance to participate in the Iron Bowl and also had a lot of big plays. You want to pull up to the mic?
Ready, baby.
That microphone was
Turn
set
me
for
on
all.
with my mic, baby. Turn
First
me
of all,
on with my headset.
happy Thanksgiving, and great to see you. And I hope you've been doing well. And kind of give us your take. First of all, have you heard the Saban rant? Did you get a chance?
I've heard enough of Saban rants in my life. So I mean, hey, I had a whole year. I've had a whole year of Saban rants. So whatever rant Saban can have, I've heard it or experienced it before. So we good on Saban rants.
Y'all, when you watch it, there's a couple of different camera angles, but when he's getting warmed up, did y'all notice Gary Harris and Eli Gold? Gary Harris is the anchor at the TV station in Tuscaloosa. And of course, Eli Gold's the voice of the Tide. But they're starting to look out of the corner of their eyes, and they know what's happening. Mm-hmm. They've seen it before. It wasn't a deer in the headlights look, but it was.
I was surprised Gary didn't give him a high five. He was trying to be the media.
Eli, yeah, Eli was close to it. Yeah. You can hear him at the end. Well said, coach. How was that for an Eli Gold impersonation? Yeah. Straight from Brooklyn. But right, yeah. It was. It's fun when you go back and watch it, and I think that Antonio, you got to hear it.
Man, I've heard every rant that he could possibly give.
This one was different.
All right, well, I want to hear it then. I want to hear the rant.
You haven't heard it?
No.
Oh, man. We might have to pull that back up for him, Josh, and play it for Antonio here in just a little bit.
I do Nick like he used to do me some days at practice when we went to Brown. He tuned me out, so I tuned him
out. You told me one time he taught you how to bend your ankle.
No, he said if you can't bend at your ankle, you can't play cornerback.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so man, you guys already knew. I'm very flexible in these ankles, baby.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I don't even have calf muscle.
Shut down.
Everybody was like, man, you don't have any calf muscle. I said, you ever seen a deer with calf muscle? Have you ever seen a deer with calf muscle?
That's awesome.
Hey, baby.
All right, serious question for you, Antonio. What has been the issue with the Alabama secondary? You know, Nick has been able to go out and pretty much handpick every single player that he wants. If you are a DB, you know that if you come to Alabama, you're going to be coached by Coach Saban himself, you know, greatest of all time. So these are his handpicked guys. Why has there been so much, what seems to me, right, so much confusion on the back end this season?
Let's just be honest. There's not any confusion in that back end. Okay, we do miss checks and we out of position sometimes, but there's no confusion in this secondary. What has happened is nobody's scared our secondary right now. And these other universities that we are playing, we act like that they go out and recruit 1- and 2-star athletes. No, they're recruiting 5-star athletes. And they are not afraid of our secondary, and they are lining up, and they are going at us. They are just lining up, and there's one-on-one matchups or whatever it may be, and they're winning their matchups, and we're losing them. Now, maybe the case is that we've lost a little bit of our competitive edge right now, and we're being exposed, and you see it in games when it's the one-on-one matchups, we're losing them. You got to win your matchups, and now we're facing teams that are not afraid of us. We're gonna go into Auburn Saturday, and they're not gonna be afraid of us. Now, what's going to happen is if Auburn is smart, I wouldn't try to get in a matchup with us and just try to air it out. I would try to establish Tank right off the bat. Stop the run game. If they watch the Florida game, we couldn't stop the run. They watched the LSU game. We really couldn't stop the run. Why would I not try to establish Tank? And then the run game does what to the passing game, Jay?
Opens it up.
There it is, baby.
Play action, big explosive plays down the field. Why do you think this? Why is Alabama or why would you, if you're Coach Harsin, attack the run game? I mean, what is that? Do you see that as a weak area for Alabama in the interior as far as the run defense?
Let's just be honest. Our defense is not as strong as it has been in the past.
Right.
We have, in certain games we played this year, shown ourselves vulnerable in both phases of the game, the run game and the pass game. So now people are going into games realizing that they can do either or on us. So why wouldn't I come in the game and let's try to establish what could be possibly the best running back in the conference in Tank?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I try to establish him early? Like we just said, the running game, if the running game is working, then now you got to put more people in the box to try to stop the run game, which now opens up the passing game because there's less guys to drop his own areas because we're trying to protect ourselves against the run. So, I mean, why? I mean,
Saban loves to play lockdown corner, right? Put you on islands. And I was talking to Matt about this the other day, and not to say that philosophy has not done very well, but we see the points that are being generated against our defense in the last few years. And I honestly don't a lot of people put that on Pete Golding. I don't do that. I think players make plays.
Right.
He gets them in the lineup, whether it's different packages, things that they're maybe not doing, they should be doing on their particular assignments. But I will say this. I think you look at more like Barry Odom, those guys, they're going to drop 8. They're going to sit back a little bit more, keep everything in front. Do you think offense is the way they've changed, that you got to get away from that, put the guy on the island? Because it's pro ball, you don't have the RPOs as much. You don't have all the stuff where it gets you caught inside, looking inside as a cornerback and having to read all that stuff out and still play man-to-man on the outside against a particular wide receiver. But I just love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, if everybody's been watching Bama defense lately, if they've been watching the defense lately, you will understand, Matt. Bama's not playing a lot of man-to-man right now. We're playing a lot of zone coverages, and we're getting picked apart in that zone coverage. And the problem is because Nick is starting to understand, along with Pete Golden, that you're going to find yourself with a lot of sleepless nights. You're going to find yourself with a lot of anxiety and stress if you constantly trying to put your guys in man-to-man coverage all day long. You can't do it. There's no possible way that you could play a whole game and go man-to-man all day. So now we're starting to play a lot more zone, but we're getting picked apart in the zone. And then when we go man, we're getting hit for a deep ball. We're just in a bad spot right now.
Yeah.
We're in a real bad spot. And what Bama's going to have to do in this, from Auburn game to Georgia to, if we fortunate enough to beat Georgia in the SEC championship and go in the playoff, we have got to find what works best for our secondary and stay with it. If man-to-man is what we do best, then we just going to have to ride with it, because every time we're in a lot of zone coverage, we're getting picked apart in the zone.
I know
we're getting picked apart in the zone because we are now trying to stop the run.
Yeah.
I want to dive on something you said about a month ago when we get back from this break.
And also what they're going to do to Bryce this week. What kind of defense will they play against him to slow him down? 700 and some yards of offense against Arkansas. And Arkansas set back in that kind of Big 12 defense and let him just pick them apart. I just can't imagine Auburn's not going to be bringing a ton of pressure coming up tomorrow. All right, we'll continue live from AVX. Antonio Langham, Lars Anderson, Matt Coulter. I'm Jay Barker. You're listening to The Jay Barker Show on this Friday edition of the 86th Iron Bowl edition coming up tomorrow. Stay with us.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
One in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store, where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape, along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. Your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for Siebel's in downtown Homewood, and now's the time to get your special place ready. Come in and let Siebel's design your porch with Kingsley Bait outdoor furniture and one of their custom swinging beds. For the great room, you're going to need their Carson swivel recliner. Siebel's is the #1 Carson recliner dealer in the country, and Sarah and I, we've got one, and we absolutely love it. Be sure also to check out their famous custom-made beds and bunk beds, built by Siebel's and made up with some of their best linens in town. Their staff can truly put your bed together like no other store. You can also follow Siebel's and shop on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to call or go by their special store in downtown Homewood. The number is 800-448-1962. That's 800-448-1962. And just for listening, go to Siebel'sCottage.com and order anything you want and type in J Barker for a special discount code. That's J Barker for a special discount code available only to our listeners for a limited time on the J Barker Show. Siebel's in downtown Homewood or online at Siebel'sCottage.com.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan. Letter C, letter O.
They've got great passion and enthusiasm, and it's like any place you play on the road. If you don't play well, you don't execute. We made we've kind of been our own worst enemy. When I think about the games that we've had, down there, whether we turn the ball over or pick sixes on the 1 yard line, kick six. There's been a lot of things that we've contributed to that has made it difficult. So I think the big thing is being positive about how you're going to execute and stay focused and not be distracted by all the external factors or the noise surrounding the game. But when the game starts, be able to, get in there and play one play at a time and do your job well. And, that's the challenge. And that's what we've got to be able to do.
Again, Coach Saban, and talking about this rivalry between Alabama and Auburn, 86th edition of the Iron Bowl. We got Antonio Langham in studio with us, Matt Coulter, Lars Anderson. I'm Jay Barker. You're listening to the Jay Barker Show live from AVX, Audio Video Excellence, as we continue on this Friday edition. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. You look at it from, and Matt, you had a question for Antonio going into the break, so I want to get to that first, and we'll dive into some of these other issues. But go ahead and go with that.
Thank you. Probably 2 months ago, you were sitting in that very chair and you said that Alabama defensive back, and maybe you didn't just single out the secondary. And you said they're memorizing their assignments. They're not learning them. Has it improved since we had that conversation?
That's a good question that I really can't answer for you because I'm not in the meeting room and I'm not watching game film. But if up to this point they've been memorizing it, they ain't just all of a sudden just start learning.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Great point.
And my point to memorizing is saying this. If I'm at corner and you play in the nickel position and you get hurt and they come to me and say, Antonio, I need you to move into the nickel position. We're going to kick Lars out to the corner. You benefit us better at the nickel position and Lars out on the outside. Now, my job is not only to know what I do on the corner, but what the nickel guy does. And that comes from sitting in the meeting room and paying attention to everybody's assignment and knowing this is my safety is going to be, my corners have this, my nickel guy plays this, knowing everybody's position. So if I'm ever in a position to have to be put there if somebody gets hurt or something, then I shouldn't be able to know. But if all I've done is memorize what I do out here, and then when I move to here, I'm as lost as can be. So you learn everything.
Right.
You can't sit there and memorize what you do and try to memorize what he do. You learn what everybody does. And there shouldn't be no reason why they can't learn what they're doing. They got iPads to take home. They got that to study. Now, true enough. They only have so many hours a week they can work with these kids. But you have time at home that if you don't know what you're doing, study it. Now, in the NFL, they get to the NFL, if you can't learn it, they send you home.
Yes, without a paycheck.
Without a paycheck, they don't waste time with you. So you have to learn everybody's position. That's why I tell my kids, learn your position, learn what the guy that's playing the star does, learn what the safety does. So in case the safety miss a check, you can turn to him and tell him, hey man, you got to come down. You can make the check from the corner. There's no written law that says, wait up to safety, don't make the check. You don't make one. If you know it, let him know, because he's not going to always be right just because he's a safety.
So when you look at this matchup and look at this game, I think back on kick six, I think back on Bo over the top, I think back on Lawyer Tillman reverse. Why does Auburn always have names when they win? Do we have any? I can't think of any name that we've had. I mean, Van Tiffin, the kick, I guess, was it,
but
right?
That's a great point. I've never thought about that.
I mean, it's like there's all these names for all the Auburn win, but Alabama. I don't know if it's the fans or the media, or that was it that it wasn't as big of a deal, or just how dramatic it was. I guess with kick six, especially.
Wow. Well, I got another name for them. If they don't beat Bama at home, they can call it. We can't blame Bo.
You already got it. We already got the
They
title.
can't blame Bo.
And it kicked off.
Well, I think there was a lot of people that were wanting to see a pick Nix instead of a pick six.
Yeah, right, yeah.
For the name of that.
Antonio, Lincoln has a question for you.
Go ahead, Lincoln.
Does Auburn have a chance to win?
Lincoln.
That's a great question.
That's a very good question, Lincoln. I'll say this. Everybody has a chance to win. So, hey, they have a chance to win. Depends on how they play. But the thing now with Auburn is a lot of you fans, you have what you wanted. You have TJ Finley starting in the Iron Bowl against Bama. Now, if he goes out, he doesn't play well, I want to know who are you going to blame it on next. I got all my friends that are Auburn guys. Bo. Bo gave y'all a 25-point spot. Bo didn't play defense. Bo didn't play one down of defense. If you are given a 25-point spot, you should win a football game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are. You should be able to win a football game. If you come back and you lose a game, whose fault is it? It's not my fault. You can't blame me. I gave you a 25-point spot. So whatever happens tomorrow, either Finley's going to play good. If Finley doesn't play good, who you going to call for now? Who you going to blame next? You're going to start saying, Finley garbage. All this. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you blame Bo for a lot of stuff, man. I told people, Bo was never the problem to me.
Mm-hmm.
He was never the problem to me. Auburn had a lot of other issues going on besides Bo. And then you don't win the LSU game without Bo.
Oh, he missed some great plays. Yep. There's no doubt about it. All right, as we continue live from AVX, more to come, and we'll play for you again at the top of the hour. The rant that Antonio has not heard yet. He said he's heard enough of them over the years, but we'll get his breakdown on that and much more. We'll talk more about Alabama. What will they do against this Auburn Tiger defense, and what will the defense for the Auburn Tigers do to stop and slow down Bryce Young in this offense that's been putting up big numbers, over 700 yards of offense last game against Arkansas. So we'll get into that and much more. All right, stay with us live from AVX.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Van the Bootman here, inviting you to shop the great selection of Carhartt products at both locations of Irving's. We have many styles of Carhartt logo tees, as well as some new colors in both Carhartt loose fit, heavyweight pocket tees, and the ever popular Force Relaxed Fit midweight tees in both long and short sleeves. Irving's also has a nice selection of Carhartt hoodies for both men and women. While shopping at Irving's, don't forget to check out all the new Carhartt caps and beanies in great new colors that you're sure to love. So remember, Carhartt at Irving's, and tell them Van the Bootman sent you.
Progressive Motorcycle presents Road Wisdom from the Motor.
Half man, half motorcycle.
You never really stop riding in your mind. Unless you're thinking of something else.
Like other thoughts.
Progressive Motorcycle also presents roadside assistance. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The perfect place to make your escape. Golden Moon offers 600 finely appointed rooms with incredible views. Take a dip in our Vegas-style infinity pool, complete with a full-service bar and cabanas. Experience the South's premier golf destination at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, or catch the biggest sporting events at Time Out Lounge. So what are you waiting for? Come see us in Choctaw, Mississippi. Golden Moon Hotel and Casino, a Pearl River Resort property.
How can you achieve perfect gifting greatness? With Omaha Steaks. Perfectly aged, tender, unforgettable, and guaranteed delicious. Go to omahasteaks.com. Enter Sizzle into the search bar to order the perfect gift package for just $99.99. You'll get 24 entrees plus 8 Omaha Steaks burgers free with your order. Incredible flavor, value, and 100% guaranteed. We've all heard reports about shipping delays, so don't wait. That's omahasteaks.com, keyword Sizzle.
You know what happens in a plasma chamber? Big stuff. Science stuff. Diamonds. I'm Tom Osmond. Fincher & Osmond Jewelers carries artisan-created diamonds.
Earth and human safe.
And bigger. Lots bigger.
Fincher & Osmond diamonds from the mines or artisan-created diamonds.
They're all diamonds.
If you want to give her the big stuff, you've got to see these diamonds.
FincherandOsmond.com. A little tricky to find on McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots.
Church's is adding Applewood smoked Texas cut bacon to our all-white meat chicken sandwich. Yep, these two are best flavors forever. Try our new Texas cut bacon chicken sandwiches today. Church's, bringing that down-home flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Finally, a bed that senses snoring and automatically responds. Meet the Ergo Smart Base from Tempur-Pedic, our first system that detects snoring, then automatically adjusts by raising the bed. Get your best sleep all night, every night. Now, save up to $500 on select adjustable mattress sets during the Tempur-Pedic Black Friday event. Get full offer details at TempurPedic.com.
Shop Black Friday at Banana Republic Factory. Everything 60% off, including Luxe sweaters, statement outerwear, covetable gifts, and more from $14.99. Find your nearest store or shop online. Only at Banana Republic Factory.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sunny today with a cold north breeze. The high for this afternoon around 50. A freeze likely late tonight. Clear with the low at 29. And for the weekend, we stay dry. Lots of sunshine tomorrow and Sunday. The high both days right around 60. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 49 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Well, I mean, hey, you always have to respect the competitive character of the players whether they have to make stops at the end of the game or we have to move the ball at the end of the game, whether it's to take the air out of it or score. So these experiences are always beneficial, I think. And certainly we've had our share of them this year. But I think the focus is, to keep players playing one play at a time and not look at the scoreboard. And maybe that helps you execute, down the stretch a little better.
All right, welcome back in. We finished up hour number 1 here on the Friday edition, and we get ready for the Iron Bowl coming up tomorrow, Alabama and Auburn, as Alabama wants to continue winning as they head into the SEC championship game with a chance to stay in the 4-team playoff and a chance to compete for another national championship under Coach Nick Saban. And we heard Coach Saban and his, some called a rant, I called it truth, but based on what he said about the fans and other things that were talked about in his press conference. And that was a Hey Coach actually the other night on Wednesday night instead of Thursday night because of the Thanksgiving holiday. But we'll get Antonio's reaction to that coming up here at the top of the hour. We'll play that for you again. But I asked going into the break, kind of, guys, how do you see Auburn defending the Alabama offense? And because this is an offense that has been very potent this year. I think, 44-something points per game they're averaging. and putting up a lot of yards last week against the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's going to be, I think, a real challenge for their defense. I think they play well. Was it number 9, the linebacker inside, this little bit smaller player, but yeah, man, but he's tough. And their boundary corner really good in coverage. You look at just all the different fronts that they run. They try to give you multiple looks up front and it's going to try to mess with your schemes blocking wise, run and pass, different looks they'll give you in that front 7. So they do a lot of really good things there. And I just think, I just wonder if you can slow down this offense, Antonio. I mean, the only way to do it, I think, is if you pressure, then you risk the big play, right? In the run or pass, because there's a lot of good run checks against blitzes that are very simple that you can get to, that you can create a huge play and a huge gain. But I don't know if you can sit back and just let Bryce pick you apart, and take advantage of that momentum he might get in Jordan-Hare Stadium fans and some of the loud and the chaotic stuff we've been a part of. And it's a loud place to play, a tough environment.
It would be, if I'm Auburn coach, if I'm Auburn's defensive staff, if I'm Derek Mason and the rest of the guys on the defensive staff, there are 2 games that I watch, and I watch them religiously. It's the Florida game, Alabama against Florida, and the LSU game. And I study the LSU game more than I do the Florida game, and I see exactly what LSU did to Bama, because LSU had one player that caused a lot of problems for Bama that night, and that's number 92.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed in Bryce's face. He gave Bama defensive front all they could handle. I would see what all LSU did to Bama, because if you watch the LSU game, LSU had nothing to lose, number 1, and number 2, LSU threw the kitchen sink at Bama.
Mm-hmm.
They threw stuff. I'm pretty sure LSU threw stuff at Bama. They hadn't seen LSU do all year. From Auburn, I throw it all out the window.
Mm-hmm.
I throw every kind of different look, kind of pressure. But if they choose not to do that, the best thing I can tell Auburn to do is figure out if their corners are good enough to play man-to-man. If they play zone, Williams gonna run through a lot of that zone coverage for some deep balls. And we're so good against zone coverages, we'll kill Auburn all day long if they're in zone coverage. If you can play man, and try to bring as much pressure as you can at Bryce. That's what LSU and Georgia did. LSU and Florida did it, and we had problems.
Would you rather be in bump and run with James Williams, or would you rather be in a zone look as a corner?
No. I'd rather be. I don't want him having a free release,
right?
At all. I don't want him having a free release. Whatever you do what you have to do to get your hands on him. If you feel like you missed the jam, grab him and snatch him down. Let's take the penalty in this line-up. I do not want him free releasing. He's too fast just release.
Mm-hmm.
He almost like a Randy Moss. He's gonna run through zone coverages if you let him free release. I'm trying to get my hands on him every chance he can get, or else I get smart and I kick somebody out on him and put help over the top. And your only job at the line of scrimmage is to beat him up, and you got help over the top. That's it. I mean, you can't sit in the zone coverage.
Don't give him a game plan. All right, Lars.
I just based on my little knowledge, I think you tack the right side of the Alabama line, and that's been a sore spot the entire season. And it'll be interesting to see what Auburn does, because how it will impact what Georgia does, and how does Alabama respond to. You would think they would just throw pressure at them. That's my assumption, Jay. Right?
Yeah, just anything to disrupt and get Bryce off track. I think pressure in the face, for a guy of his, stature, but the way he's able to release and do certain things, you can't allow him to do that. When he steps up in the pocket and the plays he'll make downfield has been unbelievable this year. All right, had it up. Throw that back up there, Josh. The Jameson Williams, the one that Alabama
kid.
Yeah, the one that Alabama put out. If you don't mind, real quick, can you throw that back up there for me? There it goes. All right, we're about to have it up. I know for you on the radio, across our network, not seeing that. Y'all see that? The Bama kid, like the Karate Kid.
18 yards, 13 TDs, 20.6 per yard catch average. That's gaudy.
When balance good, everything good. Does that make Coach Saban Mr. Miyagi?
That's funny. I really didn't notice that at first, but he's doing that.
Yeah, he's doing the crane technique.
Whoever the
wax on, wax off, paint the fence, side to side. All right, we'll be back.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Achieving your personal best often comes down to how you feel. And when it comes to the right shoes, nothing feels better than New Balance. The fit specialists at the New Balance Birmingham store conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot size, shape, and gait, determining the best New Balance shoes for you. Experience the difference of custom fit today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
I'm excited to tell you about our newest sponsor here on the Jay Barker Radio Network. They pioneered the chicken finger box and the chicken finger restaurants. That's Guthrie's. Guthrie's recipes and processes are often imitated, but never duplicated. Look, their sauce is probably the most copied sauce of all sauces all time. And I've known this family since my days down in Tuscaloosa, and they came over, and man, I tell you, it's nostalgic even today to see my kids going to that same Guthrie's. And great family, do so much for the community, but more importantly, provide the best when it comes to chicken fingers. Get out to Guthrie's today. I want to tell you about my good friends at Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker, and look, Ken Needham has done a terrific job. Local company, 205-980-1505 is their number. That's 980-1505. Again, local, you can speak with the same team every time you give them a call. Full line of products from auto, home, boat, life. You'll trust them. They have a great deal as far as the relationships they build with their customers, and 20 years with the same company and industry. Custom approach for your insurance needs. Give them a call, 980-1505. That is Southern Assurance Group.
When you go to turn on the lights, you expect them to work. Our team at Alabama Power does too. But sometimes, extreme weather and events test our system. Knowing we're out there making repairs helps, but answers are what you deserve. So, we're rolling out new tools to keep you informed, especially during storms. Visit Alabama Power's new outage map to see outages in your area and get updates on repair times. And sign up to get personalized outage alerts on your phone or computer for free. Learn more at alabamapower.com/alerts.
Rock and Roll Sushi, they're proud to be the original American-style sushi restaurant founded on great food and rock and roll music, boasting concepts and flavors big, bold, and loud. They're the only place to experience the rock you love, the rolls you love, with the ones you love. It all began back in Mobile, Alabama, and then a decade later, tucked inside the Mobile Mall, expanded to encompass more than 40 locations across the southeastern U.S. Since day one, the most rewarding part of their work has been seeing guests fall in love with the amplified dining experience and become fans who return again and again to the biggest hit in town. That's Rock and Roll Sushi. Get out today for lunch or dinner. It's Schaefer Plastic Surgery. Knowing they treat you like family, you get a free opening consultation. Not normally you get that for elective surgeries. You do with Dr. Schaefer. And he also combines experience gained from nearly 2 decades in practice, 8 years in advanced training to achieve beautiful, transformative results for his patients. As a board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Schaefer's goal is to exceed expectations while being dedicated to safety before, during, and after the procedure. Go online at SchaeferPlasticSurg.com. That's Schaefer Plastic, SURG.com, or 205-278-7969. For more information, and located on Highway 280 across from Grandview Hospital.
Following this summer's Tokyo Olympic Games, the eyes of the world will turn to Birmingham, Alabama, and the World Games 2022. Next July, the world will come together for the South's largest international sporting event since the 96th Centennial Olympic Games. 3,600 athletes will compete for gold in 34 sports, including lacrosse, softball, gymnastics, flag football, and more. Tickets are on sale now. Buy yours at twg2022.com.
We all want to create a product or service that's going to change the marketplace. Jeremy and Gina Miller have done it with LocalRealty.com. LocalRealty.com, they've saved sellers over $600,000 in listing fees just in the last 2 years alone. How do they do it? A full-service flat listing fee of $2,900, saving you thousands. 5-star ratings on Zillow with over 400 testimonials. Sold over 1,000+ homes in the Birmingham metro area since 2016. Go online at LocalRealty.com or give them a call at 205-564-3200. That's 564-3200 for Local Realty.
WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
touchdown. That championship trophy is headed back to Tuscaloosa. Now 15 dominating with this defense. Richardson breaks free on the sideline. You saw the Gatorade shower this time. I love it. Clippers wide open. Tide rolling again. Alabama again, the champions of college football. Alabama back on top. Guys in the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins! The Crimson Tide will not be denied. Devontae Smith cannot be stopped. Saban with his 7th national championship. National championship number 18. 13 in all. Absolute perfection.
Jay Barker led the Crimson Tide to a national championship in 1992. Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with a record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
I mean, come on, give me a break. This is not professional football. These guys aren't getting paid to play here. They're representing you all. You should be proud and happy to support them and appreciate what they do and have some gratitude. And you know what else? Nobody wants to win worse than they do. Not me, not you. I don't care what kind of fan you are. Nobody wants to win more than the players that play. Nobody.
That was magnificently said. And
nobody feels worse than they do when they lose.
Yep.
Nobody. So for all you self-absorbed folks out there that can't look past your own self, all right, to appreciate what other people are doing.
Well said, to say the very least.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2 as we continue on this 86th edition Iron Bowl preview here on this Friday. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We are presented by Top Golf of Birmingham. Get out to the market here. All the great folks at Top Golf and a lot of people out there this morning getting ready for that UAB matchup against UTEP. They're already kicking off right now down at Protective Stadium. I'll be back down there in about an hour or so as well. And get by and check it out for yourself. Top Golf of Birmingham. Also driven by Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street. Oxford Anderson, Tony Russell, and all the great folks there at Sunny King Ford. Antonio Langham, Matt Coulter, Lars Anderson. I'm Jay Barker. You're listening to the Jay Barker Show. We're live from AVX, Audio Video Excellence, as we continue to preview this Iron Bowl coming up tomorrow at 2:30 on CBS. All right, guys. I was trying to think, is there anybody that really, we've always talked about, from a player standpoint, nobody wants to win more. Nobody wants to lose more. But I got a few buddies of mine that gamble, and they probably do. Feel it's a little bit more in the losses and the wins as far as after the game. That might be the only people to get close to the feelings that a player might have because the hard work they put into it throughout the week. But Antonio, I got to get your response. I saw you over there kind of chuckling a little bit as you listened to Coach Saban going off, and that was Wednesday night instead of normal Thursday night. Hey, Coach, with Eli Gold.
Yeah, I saw that's what you were doing about halfway through that soundbite. Please, we need your wit and wisdom here, Antonio.
Well, he's just showing you that he is a player's coach. And when you start taking shots at his guys or you say something about his guys that he don't like, he's here to let you know that I am going to defend my guys at all costs, even with the student section. When they're leaving games early, he's mad because he's like, they go out and they work hard each and every day to come out here and put on the show so that you can enjoy it. And the owner and then and the utmost disrespect you can show them is leaving before the game is over with. When you really want to say, Coach, we love you, but you're up by 8 touchdowns. You know,
yeah.
You still want me to sit in the stands and
Right.
cheer when we're up 8 touchdowns, but that's all it is. He's passionate about University of Alabama. He's passionate about the football program. He's passionate, very, very passionate about his kids. So when he feels you're taking shots at them, knowing how hard they work and prepare, then that's what you're going to get from him. So it's not a rant that I haven't heard before, or a rant that I haven't seen, and a rant that I haven't experienced that was directed toward me. So I'm used to it. I know him, and I know how he operates. So let's also, let's just be honest. There's also a rant to say to other people. Don't ask me a question like that ever again.
Yeah.
It really, sometimes his rants, and I know if he hears about this, a lot of times his rants are just intimidation factors, man.
Yeah.
He will rant like that just to intimidate people, to deter them from asking another question like that, and trying to reword and ask him another question like that. So that's what it is. He's like that person, like, if I can bark loud enough and scare you without having to fight you, I'm good.
I write that down.
I think, because I talked to Bryson about it. He said all the players loved the fact that he said those things, right? And, I think from especially, I don't want to say this generation, but it is different. Like Coach Stallings would get in our face. I mean, they would yell at us. I mean, now they're so different. I mean, they're not going to be as confrontational with the players as they used to be. Some of them still may be, but I know that even the high school coaches I've talked to said they kind of changed their approach a little bit in the psychology of young people today. All right, one of the things that we have not hit on, I wanted to ask you guys about, was last night Alabama losing to Iona.
Yeah.
And man, they're at the end. What a great block, really, in order for them to go on and win the game. But Nate Oates, Rick Pitino, that team now 6-0. Iona is Alabama's first loss of the year. They're ranked number 10 in the country. Played well, and a lot of great moments last night in that game. That game was very competitive. I don't know if both of you guys had a chance to watch it, but up and down the floor, scoring back and forth. And I really thought Alabama was going to be able to pull it out there at the end, especially when they got that 3-point shot and got within, what was it, 1? Yeah, I think it was 69-68 at that time.
It's tough because Alabama is a very good basketball team. But Rick Pitino, wouldn't you just like to backhand him? I mean,
I had one. I'm not going to agree with you on that one, man. I don't think slapping Rick Pitino is what you really want to do.
You mean you might have somebody come and get me?
Hey, man, but listen now. You have to respect a celebrated and legendary coach like Rick Pitino. Now the NCAA touched him the wrong way and pissed him off really bad. So he wants nothing to do with Power 5 schools and all that. So he stepped down to where he is, but he's a coach. Mm-hmm. He's a legendary coach. And by no means, when I knew Bama was playing them, I figured he was going to give Bama a good basketball game because he is a very good coach. And I knew if he kept it close long enough, that Rick Pitino could find a way to win the game. And that's what he did. I mean, you have to respect a coach like that. Now, I'm not sure if he ever come back into the Power 5 and coach again, but hey, he just proved to you he can still coach. He can still win.
Yeah, and no doubt about it. And tough loss for the Crimson Tide. And back in action, they get Drake coming up versus Drake in the Disney Wide World of Sports Complex there at 2:30 or no 3:30, excuse me, Central Time. So a lot of things that Alabama wants to continue to work on. Young players continue to get experience, and I tell you, man, Iona, to me, they were just a good opponent.
Well, yeah.
And I tell you this, because we played them in the first round last year in the tournament, and sports is all about matchups,
right?
And they match up really well against Alabama. Size, up and down the court, playing defense, scoring on offense. You know what I'm saying? Kind of the same type of philosophies when it comes to playing the game. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. But I know those guys are having a good time down at Disney. Nate Oates and his coaching staff, and I know the players that could come away with a big win last night against Iona.
You're not having too much fun at Disney if you
No,
lose.
that's right. A lot more fun winning, is it not?
Yeah.
All right, I want to remind you about Fully Promoted. Great sponsor we've got here on the show, and they've heard me talk about them. And look, if you're looking to take your brand to the next level, let Fully Promoted help you do that. Maybe you struggle with finding those new ideas for branding and marketing your business. They can help you. They offer extensive branding and marketing solutions to get your name in front of your potential customers. They have local experts that specialize putting your logo on apparel, team gear, caps, promotional products, trade show items, and printed materials. They provide access to samples that you can actually feel and touch, and also the selection decoration methods that will help take your brand to the next level. So call Fully Promoted today at 205-406-6430 and mention that you heard this ad on the Jay Barker Show and get that special offer. Again, that's 205-406-6430. Are you fully promoted? All right, we'll continue our Iron Bowl preview here on this Friday. Happy Thanksgiving to all of those out there watching us on Bama Insider YouTube channel or our Bama Insider Facebook channel as well. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and all those throughout the network in the state of Alabama and down the Gulf Coast and our flagship station, Tide 100.9 FM out of Tuscaloosa. We'll be back.
This is the Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now he speaks Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Recover Now is a national campaign aimed at the education and awareness of the devastating effects of opioid and heroin abuse and curbing drug and alcohol addiction in the United States. Recover Now is sponsored by treatment facilities nationwide. Many of them have been where you are, and they want to help by spreading a message of hope and recovery. They're working hand in hand with major insurance companies nationwide that can help you or a loved one get clean in 7 to 30 days. Recover Now is embarking on a national outreach campaign on TV and radio to promote anti-addiction messages. So if you, a loved one, or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, do not wait. A new life for you could be 30 days away. Call us right now. I promise this call can change your life. Sponsored by the Detox and Treatment Helpline.
800-303-4607. 800-303-4607. That's 800-303-4607.
So I'm not one to save and tell, but the Black Friday deals at Kohl's, so good. I got a $29.99 Amazon Echo Dot, $29.99 Adidas fleece for my husband, and 50% off puzzles and games, which will be perfect for keeping the kids busy over winter break. Did I mention the extra 15% off and the $15 Kohl's cash you get for every $50 spent? So yeah, guess that's one secret I'm happy to spill. Select styles ends November 26th. Coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Man the Boogman here, inviting you to shop the great selection of Carhartt products at both locations of Irving's. We have many styles of Carhartt logo tees, as well as some new colors in both Carhartt loose fit, heavyweight pocket tees, and the ever popular Force Relaxed Fit midweight tees in both long and short sleeves. Irving's also has a nice selection of Carhartt hoodies for both men and women. While shopping at Irving's, don't forget to check out all the new Carhartt caps and beanies in great new colors that you're sure to love. So remember, Carhartt at Irving's, and tell them Van the Bootman sent you.
Ask big.
Have you seen our artisan-created diamonds? If you've been in a room with one, you can't miss it.
Tom Osmond from Fincher and Osmond.
It's a diamond like I've never seen.
And he's seen a lot of diamonds.
Ask big.
At Fincher and Osmond, you can put artisan-created diamonds side by side with mined diamonds. when you see it.
More importantly, when she sees it.
FincherandOsmond.com.
McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and local routes.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sunny today with a cold north breeze. The high for this afternoon around 50. A freeze likely late tonight. Clear with the low at 29. And for the weekend, we stay dry. Lots of sunshine tomorrow and Sunday. The high both days right around 60. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 51 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
How do you keep the rat poison from the media on, how do you get the team to tune it out? You know, for example, with Arkansas, we were supposed to blow them out, then you don't do it. And it's because you have created such a game atmosphere that we go to the game knowing we're going to win, but we just don't know by how much.
Well, you know, it's.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad you go to the game that way because I don't ever go to the game that way. I have too much respect for the other team. Been in too many games, whether we won when we weren't expected to win or, you know, the other team beat us. I think, you know, people don't really. Rat poison is rat poison, and the media is always going to create it. But the reality of the world is not what you read on the internet. It's not what somebody thinks. It's not what somebody's opinion is. It's not what the line is on the game. And it's certainly the biggest one is every time a team loses 2 games, everybody says that team's like done. And it's really just the opposite. Like Texas A&M lost 2 games before we played. I said it's a dangerous team. Because these guys have pride in performance. They want to have a good team. They've had 2 disappointing losses. That makes them dangerous. They're humiliated by what's happened the last 2 games. Same thing when we played LSU. Everybody says, oh, they lost 2 games in a row. They're not any good anymore. We're just going to blow them out. It's just the opposite. It's just the opposite of that. They're competitors. They have moms and dads. They have pride in performance. They have things that they want to accomplish and they want to do, and they want to be good. They don't just throw in the towel.
All right, later on, and just a little bit, you got UAB and UTEP already up and going. Number 4, Cincinnati at East Carolina. So another big matchup for them as they want to stay inside the top 4. And also some other games, Missouri at Arkansas. Arkansas now sitting at number 25. Also, we got North Carolina State at number 20 at 6 o'clock tonight. North Carolina, again, at North Carolina State. Washington State at Washington at 7 p.m. tonight on FS1. And also, I guess South Florida and UCF at 2:30 today as well. Tomorrow, the big matchups, though, Georgia and Georgia Tech, the number 1 team, taking on their in-state rival, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Also, number 2 versus number 5, going to be huge. Ohio State at Michigan. Texas Tech at number 8, Baylor. Also, you got Wake Forest and Boston College. Houston is sitting at number 24 at UConn. Some of the other matchups as far as state, Florida State at Florida in that state matchup. Also, looking at some of the others down the line as we go throughout the day. You got Alabama again, Alabama and Auburn. We talked about 2:30 on CBS, and then Penn State at Michigan State at Oregon, and Oregon now number 11 in the country. So some of the matchups there that are happening at Clemson at South Carolina as well is 6:30 tomorrow night. That is on the SEC Network. Clemson now sitting at number 23. Oklahoma State's a big one as well. Number 10 at number 7, Oklahoma State. And a lot of people think Oklahoma State still has a chance, sitting there a little bit on the outside of the top 4 teams in the country in the CFP. What games do you guys like? Matchups.
Wow.
Biggest one.
Starting Auburn. Yeah.
Outside of that one.
Outside of that
yeah.
one. I think the Bedlam interests me a lot. By the way, Lars, how's Nebraska doing?
Athens, Alabama, playing really well. Nebraska's up 7-0. Logan led them down the field. Very first drive touchdown. It's weird that Nebraska's 3-8 going against a team in the top 20 and they're favored. But this weekend, I'm interested in Bedlam because Oklahoma State, if they, it looks like they'll have to beat Oklahoma twice in a row. And if they can win tomorrow and then win next week in Big 12 championship, I think they're in the playoffs. I really do. And also Ohio State, Michigan. Is this the year that Jim Harbaugh finally beats Michigan, finally beats Ohio State for the first time? What is he, 0-8, 0-7? Michigan's a good team. And they have athletes all over the place, really strong defense. Those are the two games that I'm really looking forward to.
Which one are you looking for? 3?
I want to see, man. I want to see Harbaugh. I want to see him finally get a win against Ohio State. I do. That's the game I want to see, man. I really do, man.
Do you think he can?
And that game has Heisman Trophy ramifications, right, Jay? I mean, if Michigan beats Ohio State, I think Stroud probably falls behind Bryce Young in Heisman Trophy sort of consideration.
Well, and we talked about this last week. I think based on how they beat Michigan State, I think that pushed him ahead as well as it did for them in the CFP.
He looked awesome.
He did look great, and I mean it's crazy. I was talking about this, Antonio, the other day, that you watch those Big Ten games, and maybe it's the camera angles at Ohio State and the horseshoe, but it's some of those guys are running wide open down the middle of the field, and those balls are flying through the air, and all of a sudden it's touchdown after touchdown. It looks so easy a lot of times what they're doing, and against some of those teams in the Big Ten. If you look at the comparison between C.J. Stroud and also with Bryce Young, their numbers are so comparable. I mean, completion percentage, quarterback rating, the yardage they've put up, touchdowns that they've thrown, interceptions that they haven't thrown. I mean, they both have been very good about protecting the football. Do you think the competition that Bryce has gone up against in the SEC is stronger than what C.J. Stroud has gone up against at Ohio State in the Big Ten?
Well, they're always going to say that the competition in the SEC is a lot stronger than what they Stroud and them face, but I mean, at the end of the day, competition is competition. I don't care if it's SEC, Big Ten, what it may be, it's competition. And if you a quarterback and put up the number that C.J. Stroud he has been putting up against Big Ten against teams, you got to stare at it real hard, and you got to look at the numbers that Bryce has been putting up against SEC competition with. You got to stare at it real hard. Now it comes down to who all the voters who have way more love for Alabama than they do for Ohio State. Now we may be at a point where a lot of voters have Bama fatigue. They both may swing toward him just because of they feel like the Bama gets so much love that they may just do this. They may vote like that out of spite.
Yeah. So. Exactly. All right, more matchups to dive into, and some other games coming up this weekend as well. Matt, your favorite that you got outside of Alabama, Auburn coming up this weekend?
Bedlam is that, but you guys, but you guys bring up some really good points about Michigan and Ohio State, so you're going to be flipping back over there pretty often too. And Lars's point about it having ramifications towards the Heisman Trophy, if Bryce carves up Auburn. And I think even if that game's pretty close, Michigan, Ohio State, then he may jump back in front. We'll see. And it's hard to figure. We talked about this earlier in the week. It's hard to figure how he jumped out in front of Bryce when Bryce threw for 559 yards.
Set an Alabama record.
Yeah. And somehow, but I did watch it, and man, he was throwing the prettiest, tightest spirals, 40 yards on a dime. Of course, like I said, Bryce wasn't doing too bad against Arkansas either. But what's yours? What do you want to watch?
I'll tell you one I'm really interested in. I've just been trying to think about some of the games outside of maybe in the top 4 that I want to see if Shane Beamer can keep South Carolina playing at the level they've been playing. They beat Auburn 21-17 last week, and now they got Clemson. Clemson has been on the ropes a little bit this year. This is a rival game in state, but that would be a huge win for Shane Beamer, who said he's going to stay at South Carolina, not even looking at other jobs right now. He's staying committed to where he's at. That would be a huge win for them in their program.
Do you think Shane is the front runner for SEC Coach of the Year?
He should be up there.
He is now.
doubt.
Who else would it be?
If he beats Clemson, well, of course, that's not SEC as far as the game is concerned, but
We thought
certainly
maybe
all
Jimbo,
eyes.
Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
Well,
Kirby.
You have
Saban.
to give him consideration.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who else would be?
Does LSU have any fight left against Texas A&M? Don't they play this weekend?
What the heck is what is Ed O going to do in that game? I mean, he might literally have them bring a kitchen
take his
sink
shirt off.
out. Yeah, take his shirt off and say, "You want some of me?" I'm going to miss him in this league. Because for the first time in quite a while, we have really got a lot of colorful characters on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
And last night was a perfect example.
Yeah.
And I love those guys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Penn State and Michigan State saying that the new contract they just gave Mel Tucker. They
$95 million over 10 years.
Didn't help him out much against Ohio State, did it?
Hey, man. Sometimes you just meet your match.
Yeah, and they just absolutely buried him,
Yeah,
too.
you sometimes meet your match. You try to man up, but you just ain't got enough man in you.
Hey, Antonio, gaze into your crystal ball. Who's going to be the next head coach at LSU?
Well, they won't get Jimbo. If I'm LSU, I know he's an issue at times, but I really, really like it. I would at least give Lane Kiffin a call.
That was my choice. Yep.
I would give him a call. It would be two people I'd be willing to call right now that I really would just be Lane Kiffin and Lincoln Riley.
And you, I don't know if Lincoln would leave Oklahoma. Maybe he would.
I think there's some weird stuff going on behind the scenes in Norman, and I think Lincoln possibly might have
Your son keeps looking up every
might
time.
have a wandering
every
eye.
time you say, and for those that don't know, Lars' children are in the studio, and every time he says Lincoln,
Well, either way, he's getting ready to come to the SEC. So either I come to the SEC with a perennial powerhouse like LSU, or I come to the SEC with an Oklahoma who's going to come in and try to figure out how to establish themselves in the SEC. Where do I go?
No, you're right.
I know what I can get at LSU.
Florida. It's a great point because what he's always lacked is defense. You can get the defensive players at LSU.
Right.
It's known for defense. It's got the athletes. You can do what Coach Saban did and put that fence around that state and then recruit into Texas and all those areas he's already been in the Big 12 conference.
Quick question for you, Jay. Given that Oklahoma is coming into the SEC, what is a better job? Is it coaching the Sooners or is it coaching the LSU Tigers?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. That comment got me.
Yeah.
read the next one
I'm
aloud.
not going to read that.
Considering that Oklahoma is coming into the SEC, what is the better job right now? Is it coaching the Sooners or is it coaching the LSU Tigers?
Yeah, I mean, I would say based on long term, LSU. I think you're going to get better players. You're going to get better program people around it, and Oklahoma's great. Look, I mean, you're talking about two, and really Oklahoma's a blue blood. I mean, Oklahoma has had a great program for so many years, but I think Antonio made a good point. I mean, if you're moving into the SEC, where are you going to have the best ability to recruit the type of players and build off of that in order to win championships and compete? All right, we'll continue live from AVX. You're listening to the Friday edition. Get ready for the Iron Bowl, the 86th edition of the Iron Bowl between Alabama and Auburn, coming up tomorrow at 2:30 on CBS. Stay with us. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store, where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape, along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Hi, it's Jay Barker for Siebel's in downtown Homewood, and now's the time to get your special place ready. Come in and let Siebel's design your porch with Kingsley Bait outdoor furniture and one of their custom swinging beds. For the great room, you're going to need their Carson swivel recliner. Siebel's is the #1 Carson recliner dealer in the country, and Sarah and I, we've got one, and we absolutely love it. Be sure also to check out their famous custom-made beds and bunk beds, built by Siebel's and made up with some of their best linens in town. Their staff can truly put your bed together like no other store. You can also follow Siebel's and shop on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to call or go by their special store in downtown Homewood. The number is 800-448-1962. That's 800-448-1962. And just for listening, go to SiebelsCottage.com and order anything you want and type in Jay Barker for a special discount code. That's Jay Barker for a special discount code available only to our listeners for a limited time on the Jay Barker Show. Siebel's in downtown Homewood or online at SiebelsCottage.com.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan. Letter C, letter O.
As we continue live from AVX and Local Realty, one of our great sponsors here, to talk about they can help you out when it comes to making money when it's selling your home. And again, it's the Local Realty flat fee. It's the flat fee you get from Local Realty, $2,900 flat fee for $500,000 listing. And go by and check it out for yourself at localrealtyflatfee.com, localrealtyflatfee.com for more information on Local Realty. Also sponsored by Daddy Daycare today.
Oh, yeah. Really good one. I apologize to everybody. I didn't realize. I thought they would be a little better behaved, and it looks like a tornado has gone through the studio.
My camera's been unplugged. My mic's been unplugged.
She's trying to install that new piece of equipment over there now.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's a display screen. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, that's
yeah, they've been
that's a
wearing
very,
these really
large-
national championship rings and
Yeah, one of your daughters had on my Muhammad Ali boxing glove.
Yeah, she
Muhammad
tried
Ali.
to hit you with it.
yes. she was trying to hit
I
Jay
go,
with a
baby,
signed Muhammad Ali
you had to
boxing
take that
glove,
one off.
which
Really?
is worth more than my net worth.
Yeah, that's
I don't even know what they're doing over there. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to last.
Hey, we
I talk
can
about
hang.
Smothers real quick because you know a lot about him. High school player up in North Alabama, and Muscle Shoals is where he finished up playing.
Right.
But you talk about his what's happening right now in Nebraska because I mean he's been a huge difference maker for them.
He has that. What Smothers is able to do right now is run the offense that Scott Frost wanted to run that he was running in Florida when he was in Florida. And Smothers can run that offense. He came from that RPO style offense, the same as Bo. And he's running that offense. And Scott Frost, I was just sitting here saying, this is the most rhythm I've seen Nebraska offense have in a long time with Smothers in the game. I'm not just saying it because he's from North Alabama, but he looks really good running that offense right now. And if he doesn't get hurt, I believe Frost can come out with a win against Iowa today.
Okay, so Antonio Farah wants to ask you a question.
Go Farah.
Like Alabama's so good.
Why is Alabama so good?
Yeah.
It's called 5-star athletes, baby.
Definitely.
It's so true.
It's called 5-star athletes, baby. You get enough of those, you should be good. You're only as good as what you put on the field.
Antonio, talk about your favorite Iron Bowl memory. I mean, do you have one that's from many be on the field or maybe off the field or maybe just something that really every time you think about this game you kind of go back to?
You know, honestly, man, there was some good games. There were plays made that you think about, man. But my first ever Iron Bowl is my favorite memory.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard so much about them. I'll be honest, I never had the experience of going to one of the games, even though I had cousins playing. Those tickets was in high demand. I was just, hey, y'all go. I'll just stay at home. But my first time ever coming out of that tunnel, man, at Legion Field for my first ever Iron Bowl, I'm coming from Town Creek where majority of your fans were on the fence, so you didn't have those packed houses. You come out and you look around, man, and you standing in that tunnel in Legion Field with that wire fence across the top of you, and you're getting ready to come out and you hearing Yay Alabama and you get into that dog fight. And then my second year, my sophomore year, and I was starting, we played Auburn at Legion Field.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that one was a dog fight,
It was.
man. We fought to the end. That game was so exhausting, man. One of those things where they said leave it all on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was left on the field. I remember me, Stacey Harrison, all of us just laying on the field after the game. We couldn't get up, man. We were so exhausted from that game. So, man, I'm telling you, the experience of playing in the Iron Bowl is something you'll never forget.
Is Stacy the one that hit Stan White? Or was it Byron Holbrook that? Remember Stan in Iron Bowl got his?
That was Byron Holbrook here.
Was it Holbrook's? I know Holbrook's him early.
Split his chin.
But that was late in the game.
Yeah, that was Holbrook hit it.
It was Holbrook.
Byron Holbrook.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought that was Curry. I thought that was 92 when he got the. Thought it was Curry or Copeland may have gotten to, but Holbrook's man, he did.
Yeah.
Lit him up early on. Yeah, what you were just talking about as far as being on the field for the first time. I think, and I'm not saying that this is lost now, but it may be a little bit. And when you grow up in the state, you watch the rivalry, you play against these guys in high school. You may have played against some of these guys in middle school or even Metro ball. And because I remember, because I knew Stan from, I played baseball, basketball, not football, baseball and basketball against each other. And then, he was a year ahead of me, but then we were competing on the field as Birmingham guys at the Iron Bowl. It was different, and we grew up watching it. And now, you hear the guys go, well, when I got here, the first thing I want to do is educate myself on it. I'm not saying you can't understand it, but I think it is different when you grow up around it, when you were going to the game with your father or going with your parents or going with, and being a part of that as a fan, watching it on TV, having to go to school on the Monday afterwards with bragging rights and non-bragging rights, who wore their, was going to wear the Alabama t-shirt, Auburn t-shirt. To me, that was a special moment. And my first time, I never sitting in the locker room going, I want to win this game for that little kid
sitting at home to have bragging rights on Monday that he can say Roll Tide and that his team is the best team this year in the state of Alabama.
Right. And also, man, also the other thing with it, if you were fortunate enough or blessed enough to make the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, some of those guys you were on the team with on the Alabama team were going to Auburn. So now you guys, you're getting to know each other for this whole week or 2 weeks or so because you practice before you go to Mobile. And you and these guys, you're competing together. But at the same time, there's a lot of smack talking going on because, once we leave this game, we're going separate ways. You're headed to Auburn. I'm headed to Alabama. We're going to meet. And then you never lose the friendship. So the phones are ringing all week long. What we going to do to you? What we going to do to y'all? And it's just like that. So when guys saying that, they got to learn about the rivalry, you shouldn't have to learn about the Alabama-Auburn, the Iron Bowl. That rivalry has been around so long. You know a little something about it. You ought to be able to talk about it before you ever get there, man. How you going to feel about your first Iron Bowl rivalry? But that goes to show you that these kids don't get into it anymore. They don't watch sports like we used to. They don't watch football like we used to. It's just like they find everything else to do besides try to. We could tell you guys that played at Alabama before we got there. We could tell you guys who probably wore the number before we got there. Like when they handed me 43, I knew out of the back off the rip. Wayne Shaw used to wear number 43 from Tullahoma, Tennessee. I knew that, so I was like, but these kids, you give them numbers now, they can't tell you who wore the number. They got All-American numbers on their back and couldn't tell you who wore the numbers besides them.
We were there. We both got recruited in '89. That was the first time they played in Auburn. And Auburn wins that game. Alabama really having a great year that year. And then, they went to the Sugar Bowl. They played Miami that particular year as well. Then 90, 91 back at Legion Field. We're actually all the way through, right? 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. So, it never went back to Auburn until 97.
No. You went back to Auburn in my senior
year. That's right. No, 93. You're right. My bad. 93 is when we went back, and that's when they were on probation. Yeah. And everybody went to Bryant Denny to watch it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't being televised. They had it, off TV. I sort of believe I don't know if that would ever happen again with TV contracts.
Never.
The money that they're making off of that. But I was going to say real quick, Lars, you're talking when I was a kid, and Matt and Antonio, you'll know this, growing up in the state, we used to get up early in the morning on Saturday, and we'd all go outside. If we didn't have park ball, whatever, we would play football all the way up to kickoff. We'd run inside. We'd watch the game at our respective houses, unless everybody was getting together. But normally everybody went to their own house. And then halftime, what'd you do? You went right back outside in the yard, played as much of a game as you could, went back in and watched the second half, and then came back out and played for the rest of the night until the sun went down. You're right. It was a different moment. Lincoln, is that Lincoln or yeah? What you got, Lincoln?
Jay.
Okay.
Why is Alabama's quarterback so good?
Why are Alabama 5-star guys?
No, why is the Alabama quarterback so good? What makes Bryce Young so good?
Bryce is number one, got a ton of poise. Lincoln, I mean, he's really calm in the pocket. He can throw from every angle. He can make all the throws in the field, and just a great kid. Really, I mean, our young man, and great leader on the field and off the field. And I think the players have a ton of respect for him. So I think that's what makes him so special. But man, Antonio, his pocket movement. I was telling Matt the other day, I think in Lars, that he reminds me a lot of David Palmer, the ability to get somebody to kind of relax, and then the way he can stick his foot in the ground and make a guy miss.
Right.
Bryce, look, top line speed. I don't know. I mean, I've heard different things about that. He's not maybe, that top line as fast as maybe you think based on how quick he is. But in the pocket, his pocket presence is as good as I've seen at the college level.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks in Atlanta. Because everything that Georgia has up front is fast.
Yeah.
And everything that Georgia has up front is coming each and every play. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what kind of straight line speed he has. Now, watching him, you've seen him be able to escape from pressure and all that. But, a lot of teams we play, when he's escaped, they weren't disciplined. Now, Georgia will be very, very disciplined. Mm-hmm. I think Auburn, if in certain games when Auburn defense will play like they did, against LSU. They play like they did against Ole Miss. They'll play those style of game. Mm-hmm. They could pose some problems for Bama, but you don't know what kind of team you're gonna get from Auburn Saturday. You don't know if they've thrown in the towel and they just trying to get it over with, or are they going to try to fight and win and ruin Bama's season by trying to win? Which more than likely they'll fight and do everything they can to try to ruin Bama's season. But
I think Alabama has a lot to say about that. How they come out and play early on.
Right.
If they come out and start right out the bat, score, stop, score. I mean, I think Auburn could be like, okay, we're just gonna, it's just psychological.
Right. We got to break the momentum early. We can break their momentum early. Then if we can score early and often, I think they'll quit. I think this is it. So let's just get ready for next season.
You let those fans bubble.
Ooh.
I mean, it could be a long day for Alabama.
They get so loud, man. It's a great.
If you see them fans start moving closer and closer toward the front of the stadium, we'll be in trouble.
All right, we'll wrap up hour number 2 here on this Friday edition, getting ready for the 86th edition of the Iron Bowl. Stay with us.
Dang, UTEP.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Van the Boogman here, inviting you to shop the great selection of Carhartt products at both locations of Irvin's. We have many styles of Carhartt logo tees, as well as some new colors in both Carhartt loose fit, heavyweight pocket tees, and the ever popular Force Relax Fit midweight tees in both long and short sleeves. Irvin's also has a nice selection of Carhartt hoodies for both men and women. While shopping at Irvin's, don't forget to check out all the new Carhartt caps and beanies in great new colors that you're sure to love. So remember, Carhartt at Irvin's, and tell them Van the Bootman sent you.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Taco Bell presents a get-out-of-bed time story. It's time to wake up from this amazing dream, even though you're jet skiing on lemonade. How extreme! And oh, look at that. You just won the lottery. Is that a castle? Take the keys. It's your property. What's better than swimming in space? Just wait for the big reveal. It's Taco Bell breakfast, and it's actually real. So it's time to wake up and bid your dreams farewell, because toasted breakfast burritos are waiting for you, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only.
This Black Friday at Ulta Beauty, we're celebrating a little more. All week, in fact, which means a lot more Black Friday deals. November 21st through the 27th, get up to 50% off the hottest brands. Plus, score even more deals dropping all week long. And cross a little more holiday shopping off your list with a lot more unbeatable deals. So shop in-store or buy online and pick up the same day. Come celebrate more deals. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
Church's is adding Applewood smoked Texas cut bacon to our all-white meat chicken sandwich. Yep, these two are best flavors forever. Try our new Texas cut bacon chicken sandwiches today. Church's, bringing that down home flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Shop Black Friday at Banana Republic Factory. Everything 60% off, including Luxe sweaters, statement outerwear, covetable gifts, and more from $14.99. Find your nearest store or shop online. Only at Banana Republic Factory.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sunny today with a cold north breeze. The high for this afternoon around 50. A freeze likely late tonight, clear with the low at 29. And for the weekend, we stay dry. Lots of sunshine tomorrow and Sunday. The high both days right around 60. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 51 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
All right, welcome back in. And really, thanks to all those that are watching us on our Bama Insider YouTube channel and also on the Facebook Bama Insider channel as well, live each and every day, noon to 2, right here live from AVX. Audio Video Excellence, presented by Top Golf of Birmingham and driven by Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Oxford, Anderson. Go see Tony Russell and all the great folks there at Sunny King Ford. All right, we've talked about the Iron Bowl. We've talked about a number of big matchups coming up in the game, but we lost a dear person to the Alabama family and a friend of ours and somebody I've known for over, Antonia's 30 years, I guess, that we spent with Cecil Hurt. And Cecil passed away this past week. And, man, our thoughts and our prayers go out to his family and his friends. And I know for him a tough battle there at the end. And Cecil is, to me, was the best in the business, and what he did as far as covering not only Alabama, covering just college athletics, and he was really the voice or the written word, the pen. Thank you, the pen of Alabama football for so many years, and as you see right there, from 1959 to 2021, 62 years old, and the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. They said we're saddened to learn of the passing of legendary sports writer Cecil Hurt. The Tuscaloosa News columnist was honored by the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame in 2019 as a Mel Allen Media Award recipient. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family, friends, and colleagues, as we've seen that go all throughout the Alabama nation. But you give me any thoughts, Antonio, on your relationship with Cecil and some of the time you had a chance to spend with him?
Oh, man, Cecil was always great every time I had an opportunity to be around him. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time and give you other guys a chance to speak, Matt and Lars and Jay. All I just want to say is rest in peace to my classmate. Mm-hmm. We went in the Hall of Fame together in 2019. So I just want to say rest in peace to my class.
That's cool.
That's terrific. To me, Cecil was Alabama institution, a legend, and he's will be one of a kind because he had been with the Tuscaloosa News for over 3 decades. He had many opportunities to go to bigger outlets, had bigger audiences, but Cecil just loved being in Tuscaloosa. He loved covering the Crimson Tide, and even though he was a graduate of Alabama, you know what? His coverage was always measured. He was not a homer.
No, he wasn't.
And my heart just breaks for everybody who was close to him. He was a friend of our show, Jay. We had him on so many times, and he had been battling some health issues for a while, but just what a clever wit. And he all across the country, you saw this outpouring, and it really this one hurts, Matt,
a lot. He started covering Alabama the same year I started covering, 1982. And he's also from Huntsville. I'm from Huntsville. One of the best quotes about him was from Saban. When Saban says you're a member of the media and you have integrity, then you are way above everybody else that's in those media rooms. And I would say that's he was a man of integrity. He was fair. Mm-hmm. He was generous. He was on our show 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
If he wasn't busy, he'd take your call and he'd do an interview immediately.
Yeah, and the thing for me, I got to do it from both sides. I get to interview him, and he interviewed me for many years, and interviewed me even in radio about certain games. And I talked about this recently about him, is that as we knew that he was sick and things that were going on, but he was a different person in the interview than he was or when he was interviewing you than you interviewing him. And I don't mean that bad. I just mean he knew how to get things not to coerce you or get things out of you, but to make you feel comfortable, to really, kind of show
the friendship and talk about things before he would start asking the questions, and then he would lead you into things, and then you would talk, and he listened. And so there wasn't just like a designed set of questions that he was going to ask, but his questions came from your answers, which I think was what makes a great interviewer and somebody that really listens and pays attention to that. So
you could trust him.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's very true anymore, unfortunately.
All right, Autumn, real quick, what's your question? What you got?
Who will win the fireball?
Fireball.
The iron ball.
Wait, hang on. How do you know Fireball?
Well, baby, all I can say about the Fireball is just, if you engage in that game too much, you won't win.
Everybody loses in the Fireball game.
Autumn, the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's who I got.
I got Alabama by 28, covering pretty easily. Wow.
I'll say about 20. How about you? And 43.
I'll say 17.
And it was 43 when he said it. All right, have a great Friday, great Iron Bowl as well. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Our thoughts and prayers again with Cecil Hurt's family. And thank you all for tuning in throughout the network and on BamaInsider YouTube channel and Facebook. Have a great day.
You're listening
Hi,
to the Jay
this is
Barker
Wes
Show.
McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Achieving your personal best often comes down to how you feel. And when it comes to the right shoes, nothing feels better than New Balance. The fit specialists at the New Balance Birmingham store conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot size, shape, and gait, determining the best New Balance shoes for you. Experience the difference of custom fit today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
1 in 7 men will face